Hello sports fans, Coach Carroll here with Sports Banner 38, and this video will be a recap of week 2 from the NFL action, and we're just going to go straight down the list and go ahead and get started. We got Cincinnati over Baltimore 34-23. Joe Flacco was 32 of 55 for 376 yards and 2 touchdowns. Big game for Flacco. Andy Dalton actually had a good day as well, 24 of 42 for 265 yards and 4 touchdowns. Actually, that don't make sense. Okay. Yes. Flacco 32. Dalton did have 4 touchdowns. Big game for him. Joe Mixon was 21 attempts for 84 yards. Tyler Boyd 6 receptions for 91 yards and a touchdown. So Cincinnati starts the season 2-0, looking pretty good. Moving on, the Carolina Panthers went to Atlanta where they were defeated 31-24. I do believe Cam Newton actually went down. He was injured for a portion of this game. He was 32 of 45 for 335 yards and 3 touchdowns. He rushed for 42 yards on 5 attempts. And Christian McCaffrey had 14 receptions for 102 yards, being the versatile player that he is, very much like Reggie Bush, if I had to make a comparison. Matt Ryan was 23 of 28 for 272 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tevin Coleman had 16 attempts for 167 yards rushing. And Julio Jones, 5 receptions for 64 yards and no touchdowns. Moving on, the Los Angeles Chargers they went to the East Coast and defeated Buffalo 31-20. Phillip Rivers continued to play well, 23 of 27 for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns. The rookie Josh Allen in his first start, 18 of 33 for 245 yards and 1 touchdown with no interceptions. So good game not a bad game for his first. I take that back. Josh Allen actually had 2 interceptions. But not the worst game he could have had for his first start in the NFL. I believe he's going to do well and learn from what's going on there. For the second week in a row, we got a tie. Minnesota going to Green Bay, tying the game 29-29. Cousins was 35 of 48 for 425 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's looking pretty good so far. Rodgers was 30 of 42 for 281 yards and 1 touchdown. These are division rivals and everything, so this, a tie. This game's going to be important when they play again later in the season. Moving on, Tennessee defeated Houston 20-17. They did so without Marcus Mariota, who was injured. They were able to keep Deshaun Watson in check this time around. Gabbert was only 13 of 20 for 117 yards and 1 touchdown. They were able to. It was a good coaching job by Mike Vrabel and Matt LaFleur. They were able to customize the offensive game plan to basically, as they threw in some wildcat and they did different things to get some points on the board, and literally just out-coached the Houston coaching staff, and were able to come away with this win. This was a game no one thought they would win. Moving on, we got New Orleans defeating Cleveland 21-18. The Miami Dolphins defeated the Jets 20-12. Quick note, Sam Darnold was 25 of 41 for 334 yards. A touchdown and 2 interceptions. Tannehill in his second game back after playing a good game against Tennessee last week was 17 of 23 for 168 yards and 2 touchdowns. Good game from Ryan Tannehill. Moving on, Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 42-37. Patrick Mahomes, 23 of 28 for 326 yards and 6 touchdowns. He has 10 touchdown passes, through the first 2 weeks of the season. I had said that I was not sold on Patrick Mahomes. I'm still not completely sold on Patrick Mahomes. I'm not hating on the guy. So far, if the season ended today, I'd have to say he's probably the best quarterback in the league, and Kansas City is the best team in the league. But the season does not end today. It is a long season. If he keeps this up throughout the whole season, now don't get me wrong, he doesn't have to do this every single game, but if he keeps it up through the whole season, then I have no choice but to say that this guy is a real player, and they definitely got it right by trading Alex Smith and making Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if they traded Alex. They may have just released him, but putting all your cards with Patrick Mahomes will have been the way to go. If this keeps up, I can't deny what he has done. I don't have any arguments to say that he shouldn't have done it, or that it's just a farce or whatever. The guy has stepped up and played his butt off. I mean, that's all I can say. Like I said, I want to see if it keeps up and consistently does this. But I'm not changing that I'm not sold on him yet. But he's headed in that direction. Moving on, Tampa Bay with another big win in Week 2, 27-21 over Philadelphia. My man Ryan Fitzpatrick, 27-33 for 402 yards, 4 touchdown passes, and 1 interception. A lot of people are questioning whether Jameis Winston will be able to come back and start. If Fitzpatrick is playing like this when Jameis Winston comes back, I don't know if you can take him out. I think you may need to ride the hot hand. At any rate, I believe Jameis Winston eventually takes that job back, just because Tannehill has shown flashes that he is good or can be good throughout his career. The issue is consistency. He is not always the most consistent quarterback. So with that said, I fully expect Jameis Winston to at some point take that spot back. But as long as Fitzpatrick is got the hot hand, you might as well ride it out. Moving on, Andrew Luck gets his first win since being back from injury, 21-9 over Washington. He was at 21-31 for 179 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and an average game, but a win nonetheless. Moving on, the Los Angeles Rams shut out Arizona 34-0. Goff was 24-32 for 354 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Todd Gurley had 42 yards on 19 carries with 3 touchdowns. And Los Angeles Rams continue to look like the class of the league. Moving on, the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Detroit Lions 30-27. Jimmy Garoppolo was 18-26, 206 yards with 2 touchdowns. And Breida, the running back, had 11 carries for 138 yards and 1 touchdown. San Francisco looks like they're headed in the right direction. Oakland went to Denver, where they were defeated 20-19. Case Keenum was 19-35 for 222 yards and an interception. Lindsey had 14 carries for 107 yards. Denver, I believe they're 2-0 now, so Denver is looking pretty good thus far in the season. Moving on, New England went to Jacksonville, where they were defeated 31-20. That Jacksonville defense continues to impress. Tom Brady was 24-35 for 234 yards and 2 touchdowns. But on the flip side, Jacksonville shut down the New England running game, and I believe that was the difference. Let's see what my boy Leonard Fournette. Doesn't even look like Leonard Fournette played. He must have been injured this game. Bortles was 29-45 for 377 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That is an anomaly for Bortles. I don't see him to continue to put those kinds of numbers up. But nonetheless, they are 2-0, and they are leading the division. Moving on, Dallas defeated the Giants 30-13 on Sunday night. Dak Prescott was 16 of 25, 160 yards and a touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott had 78 yards on 17 carries with a touchdown. And Dak Prescott also added 45 yards rushing. The Monday night game, the Chicago Bears defeated Seattle Seahawks 24 to 17. Chicago defense looks like it's coming around with their draft class, as well as bringing in Khalil Mack. Looks like Chicago is doing the things they need to do. Then, of course, you have Mike Trubisky, who was 25 of 34 for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But Chicago looks like they might make a little noise this year. And that's going to do it for week 2 in the NFL. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Please comment or you give me your thoughts, what you thought about this week. And please like, share, and hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. I would greatly appreciate that. I look forward to getting some discussion going with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. And that is going to do it. And I am Coach Carroll, and we are out. Everybody have a great evening.